No, your bittersweet dedication will not break me down. I will remain strong. I will remain. He had so much more to give. Hello, cartoon fanatics, and welcome to a sobbing edition of Cartoon Corner. Okay, I'm better now. If you're utterly confused about what just happened, allow me to explain. DreamWorks has had a pretty good track record when it comes to Netflix series, and when I think of DreamWorks shows, I tend to think of two in particular: the How to Train Your Dragon series and Guillermo del Toro's Trollhunters, in which Anton voiced the protagonist before his unfortunate death. I swear I'm gonna get through this! To recap, Trollhunters is about a secret underground society of trolls living hidden amongst the people of Arcadia, and specifically about the teenage boy Jim Lake Jr., who has been declared the first human troll hunter, the protector of all troll kind. This leads to an understanding of both worlds, training to take down a big baddie, cartoon hijinks and adventures, and pretty amazing visuals. Well, it's got Del Toro as its foundation, so I guess the great visuals should have been expected. It's a pretty fun show, and certainly a grand fantasy adventure with a linear story arc, which is something that isn't commonly seen with today's cartoons. And the first two seasons certainly reflected that typical but still enjoyable fantasy creatures mixed in the human world setup. Seasons 1 and 2 were released pretty much without a hitch, with Anton recording all of the dialogue for Season 2 before his unexpected death. And honestly, I thought that was it. The abrupt end to a neat show. Yeah, ending on a cliffhanger would be terrible, but given the circumstances, it was completely understandable. Needless to say, when Netflix announced the last season of Trollhunters, I was genuinely surprised. Where on earth would they possibly take and end this series? I'm gonna get into spoilers now, mostly for the last 3 or 4 episodes of this recent season, so if you haven't seen Trollhunters yet and are vaguely interested, go watch it first. There, I did my spoiler disclaimer, now let's get into it. This last season gave, well, not so much a 180-degree turn, more like a 90-degree turn. The whole phrase "for the glory of Merlin," which is said when activating the Troll Hunter armor, actually turns into a whole Merlin versus Morgana history, with Morgana possessing Claire in the first half of the season, and then leading up to her release and Gunmar's attack on the above world. I don't know why including Merlin and Morgana surprised me, but when I was watching it did surprise me. It makes sense in terms of understanding the origin of the Troll Hunter amulet, but I guess I was okay with never actually knowing the full story behind that. Well, that's more of a personal opinion though, because the conflict is amped up to 11. We have all the evils from the previous seasons being unleashed, characters being traitors and characters being killed permanently, and several reformations that could give My Little Pony a run for its money. No, I'm just kidding. My Little Pony will forever be the queen of reforming all the villains. That's not necessarily a good thing. We also have the rise of a literal troll hunter, with Merlin giving Jim an ultimatum to become a troll and be able to defeat Gunmar, or to stay human and let the world fall apart. This was probably the most intense scene of the whole series, showing everything that had led up to that particular moment, and the sacrifice Jim makes to protect the ones he cares about. It's really spine-tingling, and a good part of that is thanks to the music score. Good job, music guys, the score is on point. It's a very shocking progression, but a reasonable and understandable one. And I'm especially grateful that they spent a whole episode focusing on Jim's struggle to accept his new troll form instead of just going, "Alright, now he's the best at everything!" It shows that the team working on this series really cared for the characters and their emotional struggles and developments. And to finally reach that point of the final battle, to have Jim's humanity be the glue that binds his friends and family together, and to have that be the thing that ultimately saves the day, is a true testament to the main moral of the show. It's not about some chosen one that must learn to face a prophecy, although it seemed to start out like that. It's about connections and sacrifice and love, and how those components formed a strong force that overpowered the greatest of evils. It was a satisfying conclusion, and to have the characters go their separate ways is difficult, but also welcome. This is far from the end of the Trollhunters universe, though. It's been announced that the town of Arcadia is the hub for 2 more supernatural shows, 3 Below and Wizards. It's like Arcadia is Del Toro's own Gravity Falls. Oh, come on, guys, you knew I couldn't resist saying that. Look at my shirt! Also, Toby and Arg are still at the Trollhunters in Arcadia, with Jim's mom Barbara and the changeling Walter Strickler still living in Arcadia as well, meaning this might not be the last we see of our troll crew. And with the rest of the main troll crew moving to New Jersey? Is there gonna be a Trollhunters spin-off in New Jersey? What would that even look like? No, I'm legitimately curious. What would that look like? As for the future shows, while we don't know much about these new series, we do know that 3 Below is about 2 teenage aliens that crash land in Arcadia. This sounds completely distant and not connected at all to Trollhunters. I mean, there was no mention of aliens in Trollhunters, and this is supposedly happening in the same universe, in the same town. Now there's somehow 2 teenage aliens with some unknown tech since they're aliens who are foreign to Earth's customs. Wait a second. I'm just gonna leave that here for you to chew on until the new show. Enjoy. At the end of the day, Trollhunters is a fantastic show with a set of intriguing characters and a rich world that's going to grow even more with the addition of new shows. It stands strong by itself and is certainly a show worth viewing if you enjoy fantasy mixed with the modern world. I know I'll certainly watch it again once the initial emotions settle down again. Well, that's all I gotta say about this show, so if you liked hearing about this Trollhunters review, go ahead and put a thumbs up and press that like button, and don't forget to comment and subscribe, and whatever else we're supposed to say, because it's secretly YouTube law or something to say that every time, because supposedly it helps. I don't actually know if it does. Why do I say these things if I don't know if they work? But, you know, there's other stuff on here. We got a lot more cartoon corners on different shows, not just DreamWorks shows. And we do a lot of other fun stuff here too. So be sure to check all of that out and stick around if you enjoy any of it. And I will see you next time for whatever cartoon pops up next. At this rate, it's either going to be Steven Universe or Star, knowing how these things tend to turn out. Yeah, that'll be fun.